What is up, my cats? Cardboard Ninja here, coming at you with a, well, not so much an update, but news, not necessarily from the test server, but there's going to be a new pack in Crossout, long story short. And it's going to come with it a new epic weapon. It looks actually quite interesting because it is a rail ballista. There's two new parts. One are wheels, and the other one are weapons. We'll go over the wheels right after this. But the weapon itself, and yes, you can go onto into standard Crossout and go to the market and search for it directly by name, and people are already putting in orders for the Akari. The Akari is a rail ballista. It appears to do energy damage and is explosive. I don't know if it explodes on contact. I don't know if it explodes after it's done dealing its damage. But basically, it's a rail ballista that does energy damage, and it's explosive type. Fair enough. It comes with ammunition, 7 shots each, but this perk is the thing that I want to talk to you about. It says, the projectile attaches to an armored vehicle and periodically deals 0.6% energy damage to all parts, except for the cabin, from the remaining durability of the parts, and then explodes after a short interval. So that probably explains the explosive damage. It doesn't seem to explode on contact, so it's somewhat like the Phoenix, where you shoot it, it lands on them, burns for a little bit, and then explodes. It further states, damage will be inflicted until parts have 25% of maximum durability left. So that means that this universal damage your entire build perk only works up until every part on your build has 25% durability left. Once that's happened, it's not going to do anymore. So basically, the ticks don't happen after your entire build is 25%, but the explosion still will. And it states further, only one projectile can affect one enemy at a time. That makes this very interesting. It means that you only need one, really. You don't kind of need more than one Akari on your build. I think the other thing that's going to happen, I guarantee this just now, I'm just going to tell you this right now, this is going to get nerfed for Leviathans. It's going to say it doesn't affect Leviathans. I mean, it's not going to right this moment, but if you check a couple of very, very strong weapons that would completely and totally ruin Leviathans, such as the Hammerfall, if you look at the Hammerfall's perk, it just outright says doesn't affect Leviathans, and then if you check the days, which is this module here, it will outright say only one such can be mounted on a vehicle, but it also says doesn't affect Leviathans. In addition to that, if you check the Catalina perk, it says the bonus's accumulation rate is reduced for Leviathans, and so on and so forth across the board, right? So anytime that you can just one-bang a levy, they're like, whoops, we are bad at programming. And so that's most likely going to end up happening to this weapon, because ultimately it would mean that levies would be entirely irrelevant in, not levy CW, because you could probably either A, remove the Akari with your teammates, or B, like Leviathan fights are so fast to begin with, probably not. But against the invasion mode, this is going to be like instantaneous victory over invasion. Invasion's immediately worthless. You just land one of those anywhere on the invasion Leviathan, 3 times, and then you've cut 75% of its life. Yeah, no, that's pretty busted. So because of that, I don't see this going to affect Leviathans for very long. I'm sure it will on release, because that's how, Targum, Gaijin, whatever, that's how they do, because they want you to go out and buy it. They want you to spend that money on this part. They want you to order it. And so obviously it's going to affect Leviathans at start, but odds are very good they'll be like, oh, whoops, click, and then take it away from you. So expect that in the future. This is going to be interesting because it is a rail ballista. I think it's kind of cool. A crossbow with a perfectly flat trajectory because it's a rail gun. Maybe you can pair it with a scorpion. I don't know. Who knows? Depends on the projectile velocity, really. There is a lot of utility for this. Landing an Akari shot on, let's say, the back of a dog or the back of a hover would mean that you've just taken 25% of their entire life. Some people might think, is this fair? And I'm going to say yes. And the reason why is because there's already a weapon that does basically this already. And it's called the Incinerator, for those of us who don't know. You can throw an Incinerator down and do just fine. But you're like, but this does percentage max net life damage. Yes, fair enough. However, the reason why that's not necessarily as important is because the Incinerator hits whole builds. Yeah, it hits the cabin, but that's irrelevant. Hits whole builds. but its damage is static. I think it does like 6 damage per tick, right? You might be thinking, but 6 damage per tick, that does percentage versus 6 damage. Blah, blah, blah. Hold on a second. Like 6 damage on a 16 durability part is what? A third? Like 33% of durability per tick, right? Again, this of course depends on the durability of the part. Train plows obviously significantly lower percentage, but the majority of parts don't take that long to burn through at 6 damage a tick, right? So like the small assembly section, you hit someone with 2 incinerators at the same time, you're going to burn through this in seconds. So it already exists in the game. The incinerator is already exceptionally powerful. I don't see this crossbow being more powerful necessarily than the incinerator, though I think there could be some interesting combos between, let's say, the incinerator and the Akari. That could be interesting. The other new item that's coming is the, I think it's called the Atom. And it is a new rolling-based movement part. It combines things together. One, it combines the look of the Sabbath and the functionality of the Omni Wheel. So what does it do? It gives a massive amount of tonnage. Of course, it has a high amount of cabin power, and it says depending on your movement speed, it accumulates charge, which is at most 10% per second. So it means it's going to need 10 seconds to charge up. So when fully charged, it creates a protective field that absorbs damage from fast-flying objects and energy flows in small radius. It gives it a damage shield, basically. As with all damage shields in Crossout, it's not telling us how much of a damage shield it gives. Odds are good that the damage shield is just going to protect the movement part itself. That's pretty cool, though, right? I mean, it's basically an Omni wheel. I think it's got a more penalty to movement. I think the Omni wheels are 90, right? Yeah, Omnis are 90. So this gives a lot more tonnage at 10 kph cost, but it's got insane durability. The reason why is because it's got the 400 base durability versus 360 for Omnis, but also comes with its own nifty little damage shield. That all depends on how much damage shield it gets, honestly, but I can see a lot of fun cars with that, to be honest. I'm not going to lie. This feels like it's going to be a fun wheel. Obviously, anyone who is rocking Omnis right now might want to consider the Atom. The other thing, though, about this is its size. It is big, right? Looks like it's 4. Wow. Okay, so this is very big. So for those of us who don't know what I mean by this is big, if you check out the claw is 2 pins. If you check out the next largest movement in the game, it's the Sabbath. And these things are already hard enough to build with, and those are 3 pins. This is 4 pins. This is a 4-pin wide. You can see them in there. 1, 2, 3, 4. It's a 4-pin wide wheel. This is insane. So you're going to be making some big old ball builds, but yeah, I think it's going to be cool. I like movement parts. I genuinely do. I like pretty much every movement part in Crossout. Despite what my tier list may say, I do like all the movement parts in Crossout. Omni wheels are already an S tier wheel. This one might be not an S tier, might be an A tier, only because of how large it is. Again, you'd have to see what builds come of it. You're obviously going to want to present these as targets because of the fact that they have shields on them. It could be really cool to make a bubble build. Barriers, Aegis, maybe the Nova, just because you're memeing and atoms. Just think about it. That'd be kind of cool, right? Tons of shields just for no reason. You'll get you. I'm not gonna lie to you. You're gonna get destroyed if you make that build expecting to be shit on. But regardless of how you're gonna get completely and totally annihilated, that'd be cool to have just to see. It's gonna be a new movement part. I don't know how valuable it'll be. Probably a drop in price, kind of like the Sabbaths did, just because of the fact that it's just a wheel. This doesn't do anything special for you. So to get this out of the way, Sabbaths will make you go faster. You use the claws because it makes your guns go pew pew faster. If you're using drones or even the Aegis module, you want the Bigfoots, right? you basically had to skip all the tracks. You use the hovers for speed, and you use the legs because they were in the battle pass, right? those are the reasons why you use all these. Oh, and you use hermits for your leviathans because they're just the best wheel. Who knows? Maybe all leviathans will be covered in atoms. That'd be interesting. I mean, no, I'll take it back. There's no way in hell. The 80 kph top speed kind of prevents that. But yeah, I don't know. Their movement speed, their movement part, they'll be interesting. They'll be fun to have on builds. They'll be fun in the game. I don't foresee the atom being overly important, other than the fact that it's like a really strong wheel. Its durability is probably better than the Sabbath. It feels like its durability is going to be higher than the Sabbath, but that's all. That's it. It's just a wheel with a shield on it. I don't know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. It's just a wheel with a shield on it. I'm sorry. That's it. I think it's cool. Whatever. So yeah, what do you guys think? New gun? I mean, the new gun is going to be very interesting. I mean, getting one of those on the back of your build could be unbelievably brutal, only because of the fact that you can't remove it, and so that's like 25% of your durability gone. Well, potentially 25%. It doesn't actually say, because it says it will periodically deal damage of 0.6% to all your parts, but it does not say what that interval is. So it doesn't mean that's going to take you down to 25% on just one crossbow bolt. So who knows? Maybe that interval is short. Maybe that interval is long. We're going to find out. When it comes out, we're going to F around. We're going to find out. We're going to find out together, guys. Anyway, likes, comments below. Let me know. Peace.